Just uh, good evening, respected seniors, speakers, dear colleagues, and friends. On behalf of AFTP North Zone, I, as chairman of the North Zone, warmly welcome you all for today's webinar on the topic Practical Insight in Filing of Income Tax Returns versus Adjustments under Section 143(1) and Defective Returns under Section 139(9) of the IT Act. The topic is very, very relevant for the tax professional. That's why we have chosen this topic. It is our first webinar on direct taxes in the golden year of AFTP. We have already conducted a webinar on indirect taxes, which were very well appreciated. In the golden year, our national president has taken a pledge to spread education to every corner of India, to every person. And we are aligned to his pledge. We are fortunate to have CA Rajesh Jain ji from Delhi as convener of Direct Tax Study Circle and CA Shilpa Gupta ji from Delhi as co-convener. Our convener, CA Shri Rajesh Jain ji, is an experienced chartered accountant who qualified CA in 1981, having practice of around 47 years, vast experience. He did BCom honors from Shri Ram College and LLB from Delhi University. Sir, we are fortunate to have you as convener of Direct Tax Committee. Then, our co-convener, she is Shilpa Gupta ji, qualified in 2003. She also did LLB and presently working as partner with RRA Tax India. She is practicing in direct tax litigation from last 20 years and regularly appearing in ITAT. Ma'am, thanks for being our co-convener. Then we have renowned speakers, CA Ranjan Chopra ji, Advocate Jaspal Singh Sethi ji from Delhi, who will address on the topic. And we are sure that this session will be very, very useful and informative for all of us. Before handing over to convener, I would like to apprise you about our two programs which we are going to have in near future. Our future programs under the banner of AFTP, we have planned two post-budget sessions. One on the initiative of our Vice Chairman Sri Vishal Sharma ji. A conference is organized on 5th February 2026 in Ludhiana, wherein the eminent speakers Shri Advocate Sandeep Goel, CA Achal Kapoor, CA Vipin Garg will be addressing on the important topics. The conference is expected to be attended by almost 200 members. Further, our secretary, Shri Vikas Vasji, has taken an initiative to organize a conference on 7th Feb 2026 in Ghaziabad, wherein we have speakers like Girish Oja sir, Ma'am Aanchal Kapoor, CA Rajendra Arora, and program will be inaugurated by co-chairman of Bar Council of India, Shri Ved Prakash Sharma sir. We have already received a delegation of above 200 and we are expecting a delegation of around 300 persons there in Ghaziabad. The above programs are going to be very informative. Therefore, I request all the members present here to please enroll for those programs and join the conferences. Once again, I welcome the respected speakers and participants. Over to Rajesh sir, the convener of the study circle meeting, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Anuj. Good evening. Warm welcome to National Executive Committee members, Zonal Committee members, other office bearers of the Federation, and all learned professionals colleagues. Today's session focuses on practical insight in filing of income tax returns vis-a-vis adjustments under Section 143(1) and defective returns under Section 139(9) of the IT Act. Section 143(1) was initially designed to correct prima facie errors, arithmetical mistakes, incorrect claims apparent from the return itself. However, over the years, with expanding scope, frequent amendments, and automated CPC processing, with data available on portal of the respective assessee in AIS, TIS, sale and purchase of shares, properties, investment, etc., reconciliation of the same while filing the returns of the client has become very important. Issues as adjustments beyond the return data, disallowances of debatable claims, mismatch based additions, and violation of principles of natural justice have made Section 143(1) is a serious concern for taxpayers and practitioners alike. The relevance of today's discussion become even very critical, and we as practitioners should clearly understand the permissible scope of adjustments. In this session, we will examine the legislative intent, permissible scope, judicial boundaries, and practical safeguards for adjustments in accordance with Section 143(1), with special reference to recent High Court and ITR rulings. To deliberate on these aspects, we are privileged to have with us Mr. C.A. Ranjan Chopra, Mr. Advocate Jaspal Singh Sethi, who brings rich experience in handling direct tax litigation before appellate authorities. I am confident this discussion will help us in clearly distinguishing what can be adjusted at the processing stage and what must wait for scrutiny, and precaution in filing tax income tax returns for avoiding addition in return income by CPC. Before adverting to our learned speakers, it is my honest duty to introduce them to the House. Shri Ranjan Chopra is a fellow member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. He is highly accomplished professional with a strong background in direct tax laws. He is fellow alumni of the prestigious Modern School, Delhi, and Kirorimal College, Delhi University. He is partner in Messrs. Khanna Anandanu, a renowned chartered accountancy firm of Northern India. He is a regular practitioner before the income tax authorities and various branches of ITAT and India. He is also the General Secretary of the ITAT Bar Association, Delhi. He is a special invitee to Direct Tax Committee of the Institute of CAs. He was recently invited to represent the special parliamentary committee set up for the review and introduction of the newly introduced Income Tax Bill 2025. In addition to his professional accomplishments, he is also past president of the Rotary Club of Delhi Southwest and is very active in social reforms through Rotary Club. Mr. Jaspal Singh Sethi is a practicing advocate. He specializes in direct tax laws. He is graduate in commerce from Shri Guru Gobind Singh College of Commerce, Delhi University. He is also a graduate in law and has been in active practice since 2006. He specializes in income tax matters and regularly argues before ITAT and High Court. Among other matters, to his credit, he argued and part of the reported judgment, including the judgment of Honorable Delhi High Court in the case of Manmohan Kohli and Bhushan Lal on the subject of reassessment. He is also the advisory panel of an array of businesses and corporates. Over to Mr. Ranjan Chopra and Mr. Sethi.
At the outset, I must place my big thanks to All India Federation of Tax Practitioners, especially I'll not address Mr. Srivastava, but Anil Bhaiya, Rajesh Bhaiya and VP Gupta ji, Anuj Bansal ji and Shilpa Gupta and all professional colleagues who have assembled today. The topic given is practical insights in filing of income tax returns was vis-a-vis adjustment under 143(1) and defective returns under 139(9). Day in, day out, we are practicing before tribunal or giving submission before commissioner appeals. But base is filing of return. In case your base is weak, entire flow chart would be weak. So we have to correct our thing at the inception itself, for which filing of return is very important. So I'm going to just share the screen with you.
Can you please allow the screen share?
Anuji?
Yeah, it is there.
Ravi, actually, sir, from head office, Ravi is there who is controlling this.
I've given him the.
एक बार वो स्क्रीन ऑन कर दो, शेयरिंग ऑन
I've
करो.
given him the permission.
हाँ ठीक है. रंजन सर, आप प्लीज आप कंटिन्यू कीजिए, वो स्क्रीन की परमिशन आ गई.
आगे फिर से ना. देखो, it so happens now this seminar, 1.5 hours, we have divided into two parts. I'm going to give the brief insight what exactly it is, and then we have identified 15 to 20 practical problems. In case learned members have still any others apart from this, I'm very sure they would be having, they can put on the chat box. Then we mutually, when you have company of Rajesh ji, Anil ji and VP Gupta ji, we can all settle mutually. How does the issue starts? First, inception is selection of correct ITR form. In case you have just salary income, no issues, you file ITR 1. But, or one property income, you file ITR 1. But in case it is ITR 2, then you have two properties, then you have to go for ITR 2. Similarly, in case you are a charitable organization, you file ITR 7. There are many AOPs and societies who are not claiming benefit of section 11, 12 or 13. Then it is treated as AOP. People mistakenly file ITR 7 instead of ITR 5. Now to the issues which generally evolve are primarily narrowed down in this, which my colleague would take you forward in subsequent slides. 139.1, 3, 4, 8A, assessment 143.1A, which Rajesh has just mentioned, a rectification of mistakes, revision of orders. 205 is a very important section which we like to deliberate in the end. And what are the, before filing return, we should take these three, 26 AS, AAS and TS as Bible. Not to tinker with these three forms. And what are the possible solutions? Whenever you receive any query, after filing the return, you receive a query that there is a variance which department proposes to go against you. Then you file whether you agree to it or not. And in case you are agreeing, then within 30 days, you should file a revised return. And still department persists, then you may file 154. Still you may have a grievance, because nowadays all of us are aware at least 5.5 lakhs appeals are pending before learned commissioner appeals. So I would humbly suggest that we take the course of 264, where at least you receive the order within 1 year from the month in the year when you had filed that petition. Or last alternate would be to file a writ. You are still very aggrieved that they are not listening to you. The possible alternatives to propose variation or additions under 143.1A. Either you go for e-Nivaran, grievance through portal or CP grams. In next slides, we have taken some practical problems apart from this what I have stated, which my learned colleague Jaspal ji will take it forward.
Thank you, Ranjan. First, at the inception, I must thank the organizers for giving us this opportunity to present our views on the issue of practical insights in filing the income tax returns and adjustments under section 143.1 and the defective returns under section 139.9. Sir, the title, as it sounds, may appear to be a very, very basic and a general issue. But as our national president also addressed a little while ago, that this is one issue which is a household issue and a problem with every office. And with us professionals, एक बड़ा issue आए, which is of an assessment, which is of an interpretation of an assessment order or an issue involved, they still seem simpler to solve than this intriguing issues of the filing of the returns and the processing. It has become an everyday issue in the running of the office, because what happens is we file the returns with all the after the collection of all the data, after going through all the as Ranjan sir also suggested, that three main limbs that is today, that is Form 26 AS, AIS and TIS. Now, after even going through all of them and filing of the audit reports, these issues which creep up and the practical impossibilities of getting those corrected is an everyday issue. And that is what we are going to look into today on a practical scale. As also suggested, we will be going into the legislative intent and how the 143.1 was brought in and what was the purpose of 143.1. What is the legislative intent of the audit report? Further coming to the judgments on the subjects. And as good as Supreme Court has gone into the issue of getting into whether 143, whether these adjustments can be made under 143.1 or not. So looking into these, what we are going to cover, and as again Ranjan sir has suggested, that what the issues that are involved in starts from the very basics, which is selection of the correct ITR forms. Starting from here, the and the basic issue that we have to fulfill our what needs to be done before filing of the returns, which is a very basic issue. The computation of income should be correct. The information that we are collecting has to be matched with 26 AS, AIS, TIS. Then the bigger problem is that the selection of the desired tax regime, and that too within the specified time as allowed in the provisions. Timely upload of audit forms, correct reporting of information in audit forms. This is a very, very big subject, and I'll be discussing it in detail in the coming slides in coming time. Then, of course, with filing of the correct schedules of ITR forms and so on. Now, I'll also now I'm going to brief on what all sections we are going to discuss here. Starting from the very basic section, that is section 139, return of income. And I'm very sure in a general practicing environment, we do not give too much attention to the details of these sections. But I'm telling you, sir, while even preparing this, these slides, this presentation, I came across certain issues which I was also not aware of. So, reading these sections in details is of utmost importance so as to solve this problem. Now, then coming on to the section 143. Sir, we discussed while preparing this. 143 section 143 consists of three subsections, which is subsection 1, subsection 2, and subsection 3. A general overlook at the section itself would say that section 143.1 consists of about 70% of the section. 2 and 3 are which appear to be in the general practice, which appear to be of greater importance because scrutiny assessments are derived from subsection 2 and 3. But section 143.1 is so heavy on the total percentage of the section. So we'll be discussing all the subsections and clauses of section 143 here. Then coming on to 154, whether what can be rectified as a mistake apparent from record. Then of course, I'll just skip right away and discuss these other issues as the time allows and as the issues crops up. Now, sir, coming to the section 139. 139, I have pinpointed here the key provisions of section 139, which starts with 139.1, mandatory return filing. Not of great importance to discuss right away, but yes, this 139.1 mandates the assessees that who all assessees are required to file the returns under what provisions. Then, sir, comes the very, very important limb of 139, which is 139.3, return of loss.
Excuse me.
Here,
So there is a disturbance in audio. Please correct it.
I'll just.
Rajesh, from our side or from other participant?
There is a message in the chat box.
Possibly some other participant must have opened. In case
Okay.
you can mute all, then we can speak. In case
Please mute.
Should I continue? So, coming to the section 139.3, see, it is a very, very important limb of this subsection that in case a taxpayer has to file a return of a loss, either from a PGBP, which is profits and gain from business, or a capital gains, and it needs to be carried forward for subsequent adjustments in the future years. It is of utmost importance that the return is filed within the due date specified under section 139(1). Mind you, sir, the subsection 1, which is the regular due date of filing of the return, is the date when you file the return of loss. In case the return is filed beyond the time under section 139(1), which is the due date, the losses are not allowed to be carried forward to the future years, which is a mistake that generally the taxpayers make. And when we try to take the advantage of these adjustments in the future years, the issues crop. Then, sir, we come to section 139(4). 139 को एक ओवरऑल उसमें चले, तो अगर हम 139(4) को देखते हुए चले तो सॉरी सेक्शन 139 को देखते हुए चले, the flow of the section provides different opportunities in filing of the returns.
इसमें थोड़ा मिक्स करते हैं। 139 अभी जसपाल जी ने बताया है, उसमें लॉस का है, डेप्रिसिएशन देयर आर जजमेंट्स, इन केस दैट इज अ बिलेटेड रिटर्न, डेप्रिसिएशन को इससे मिक्स ना करें, वो बेनिफिट आपको मिल जाएगा। हाँ जसपाल जी।
तो बिलेटेड रिटर्न्स पे अगर हम आए तो सी 139 पे अगर हम आए तो सबसे पहले 139(1) ये कहता है कि हमें टाइमली रिटर्न फाइल करनी है, which is there for sure. 139(3) कहता है कि रिटर्न ऑफ लॉस है तो इट इज मैंडेटरी की टाइम से ही करनी है, नहीं तो आगे नहीं मिलेगा। एंड एज सजेस्टेड द डेप्रिसिएशन का लॉस जो है वो दैट इज स्टिल अलाउड टू बी कैरिड फॉरवर्ड। फिर आते हैं सर 139(4) पे कि अगर हमारी कोई रिटर्न टाइम्स हमें कोई दिखा है कि कोई रिटर्न के अंदर प्रॉब्लम है या कोई इनकम एस्केप हो गई है या हमसे कुछ गलत फाइलिंग हो गई है, we can revise the return under section under 139(5). and अगर कोई रिटर्न मिस हो गई है 139(1) के अंदर तो बिलेटेड रिटर्न कैन बी फाइल्ड अप टू 31st of December of every year। माइंड यू सर, ये पहले एंड ऑफ असेसमेंट ईयर हुआ करता था, which was 31st of March, but with the recent amendment 3 years ago, the time has been curtailed to 3 months before the end of the assessment year, and which is now 31st of December of the assessment year। फिर सर एक और मौका मिलता है, हमने बिलेटेड रिटर्न का भी अपॉर्चुनिटी ले ली, हमने रिवाइज रिटर्न की भी अपॉर्चुनिटी ले ली। देन कम्स अ टाइम कि हमारे पास ये टाइम भी निकल गया है और अभी भी हमारी या तो रिटर्न फाइल नहीं हुई है या रिटर्न के अंदर कोई प्रॉब्लम नजर आती है या कोई हमें नोटिस में आता है या कोई क्वेरी आती है कि आपकी ये इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं, this information is not available in your return, then we get an opportunity under 139(a) 8(a), which is of updated returns। now mind you sir, पहले सबको याद होगा कि जो 139(4) के अंदर हमें 2 साल का टाइम मिलता था फॉर फाइलिंग ऑफ द रिटर्न्स विद द मिनिमम पॉसिबल पेनल्टीज एंड फी एप्लीकेशन। दिस वाज कर्टेल्ड कि हमें विद इन द ईयर ही इसको फाइल करना है। एंड
अनुज जी अभी ठीक है?
मतलब ऑडियंस की यही ऑब्जर्वेशन है कि थोड़ा जो माइक है वो थोड़ा दूर है, और वो सर
ओके,
जसपाल सर की साइड पे कर दीजिए थोड़ा सा, और थोड़ा पास आके बोलेंगे तो शायद वॉइस ठीक हो जाएगी।
वो हम क्या करेंगे, जिस टाइम मैं बोल रहा हूँ वो कर लेंगे, विल शिफ्ट द कैमरा अकॉर्डिंगली, आई मीन एज
डन
एज
डन
एंड
डन डन।
स्पीकिंग।
हाँ यूर,
इज इट बेटर ना?
ना इट्स बेटर सर।
ओके, ग्रेट, ठीक है। नाउ coming on to the main issue, which was the subject matter of today, was the variances in the returns and the defective returns. Sir, defective returns का एक section है which is section 139(9), and with now I am going to decipher each section in detail so as to discuss the legislative intent of these sections and how we can go about the issues. इसके बाद we'll be discussing, sir and I will be discussing the practical implications. So what we have done is that we have taken certain screenshots of these issues, and these are practical screenshots which have been received by our offices in the cases of our assessees, जहां पे ये प्रॉब्लम्स नजर आई हैं, एंड देन we'll discussing कि उसको कैसे हैंडल कर सकते हैं और उसके अंदर क्या प्रॉब्लम है एंड उसको कैसे एड्रेस कर सकते हैं। सर, सेक्शन 143(1). 143(1), we know it is a summary assessment और सेल्फ असेसमेंट स्कीम हम कह सकते हैं इसको, एंड वी when the return is filed, उसकी प्रोसेसिंग होती है 143(1) में। नाउ व्हाट इज प्रोसेसिंग? प्रोसेसिंग है कि whatever data is uploaded by the assessee is compared with the information that is available on record with the department. वो कहाँ है सर? AIS के अंदर। AIS is annual information of the assessee, 26AS, एंड फॉर्म TIS. आई एम वेरी श्योर कि TIS की अभी पॉपुलैरिटी उतनी नहीं हुई है, बट माइंड यू सर, TIS इज ऑफ ग्रेट इंपॉर्टेंस एंड ऑफ ग्रेट यूज जिस टाइम इसकी करेक्शंस की बात आती है। सर, अब 143(1) के लिम्ब्स में चले जाते हैं, विच इज द सब क्लॉजेस। 143(1)A ये कहता है that before, in case there is some error which is found in the return of income as filed by the assessee, what all problems can be taken up as processing in 143(1)A, beginning with, sir, any arithmetic error in the return. Very simple issue. अर्थमेटिक एरर का मतलब है सर कि अगर हमने कोई एक क्लेम फाइल किया है और उसके टोटलिंग मिस्टेक आ रही है, या हमने कोई अमाउंट कम दिखा दिया है विच इज देयर, या हमने कोई परसेंटेज क्लेम है वो कम फाइल कर दिया है, so those kind of the very basic issues can be called as arithmetic errors, and a 143(1)A notice can be issued. Then comes, sir, 140 sub clause 2, any incorrect claim, if such incorrect claim is apparent from the information in the return. सर, बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है इस सब क्लॉज के वर्ड्स को पढ़ना, एंड आई रिपीट इट। एनी इनकरेक्ट क्लेम, मैंने कोई ऐसा क्लेम फाइल किया है इन माय रिटर्न ऑफ इनकम जो कि गलत है, इंफॉर्मेशन इन द रिटर्न, द वर्ड्स इन द रिटर्न आर ऑफ अटमोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंस, मीनिंग देयर बाय सर कि मेरा जो डाटा है दैट कैन नॉट बी कंपेयर्ड टू अ थर्ड डॉक्यूमेंट विच इज नॉट ऑन रिकॉर्ड एंड इन द रिटर्न ऑफ इनकम। माइंड यू सर, हम आज से 2006 के अंदर, 2007 के अंदर ये फॉर्म्स आए थे, फॉर्म्स ITR 1 2 3 4, जो हम आजकल देखते हैं। इससे पहले वी वर यूज्ड टू फाइल पेपर रिटर्न, जहां पे हमें वो एक सरल फॉर्म हुआ करता था, एक कंप्यूटेशन हम लगाते थे और उसके साथ सारी डॉक्यूमेंटेशन अटैच करते थे। एट दैट पॉइंट इन टाइम 143(1) यूज्ड टू बी डिफरेंट। उस टाइम पे जो इंफॉर्मेशन हम प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं, जो 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 143(1) हैज इवॉल्व्ड एवर सिंस, जो डॉक्यूमेंटेशन हम साथ में देते थे, बेसिस दैट हमारे 143(1) प्रोसेस होता था। माइंड यू सर, व्हाइल आई एम सेइंग दिस, उस टाइम पे अगर मैंने कोई एक इनकम टैक्स का चालान क्लेम किया है, पेमेंट ऑफ इनकम टैक्स चालान क्लेम किया है, विच इज अ वेरी बेसिक इशू, अगर मैंने वो एक्चुअली पे भी किया है, बैंक में भी दिया है, मेरे बैंक से भी निकला हुआ है, मेरे पास BSR कोड भी है, सब कुछ है, बट जस्ट बिकॉज मैंने उसको अटैच नहीं किया अपनी रिटर्न ऑफ इनकम में, माई क्लेम वाज नॉट टू बी अलाउड. दैट इज नॉट द केस एज ऑफ टुडे. It is what it is today because it is a digital filing and all the information is to be filed in the forms provided by the government. That is the only thing which is to be compared. Now I'll straight away jump to the details of this. And mind you, sir, before I do that, there are three provisos to this subsection, subclause A. I'm not going to read it out right away. We'll discuss it when we are discussing the provision itself. Now, sir, 143(1)A के अंदर क्या था? The AO assessing officer is empowered to carry out the adjustments to the total income, which is in the nature of the arithmetical error in the return. Now, this subclause is limited to only such errors in the return, or out of that arithmetic problems cannot, anything cannot be discussed in this subclause. अब आते हैं सर subclause B के ऊपर, which is of very this has been deciphered by various judicial judgments. इसके अंदर क्या है सर? This subclause empowers the assessing officer to carry out adjustments to the total income in respect of an incorrect claim, and as I discussed. Now it says an incorrect claim apparent from an information in the return has been defined. अब ये इसकी explanation जैसे मैं कह रहा था कि 143(1) के अंदर there are 3 explanations, and according to that the phrase shall mean, let's go back and read the explanation. For the purpose of this section, an incorrect claim apparent from an information in the return shall mean a claim on the basis of an entry in the return. Now these are the 3 pointers जहां पे ये हमें claim apparent from record देखना है. Of an item which is inconsistent with another entry of the same or some other item in such return. Again क्या है सर, हमने कोई एक आइटम डाली है, इसका एग्जाम्पल भी आगे ले लेते हैं, या in respect of which the information required to be furnished under the act to substantiate such entry has not so been furnished. Meaning thereby हमने कोई क्लेम डाला है, लेट्स टेक फॉर एग्जांपल, हमने कंपटीशन ऑफ इनकम के अंदर एक डिडक्शन डाली है व्हिच इज लेट्स से अंडर चैप्टर 6 हमने एक लाइफ इंश्योरेंस की हमने डिटेल डाली, बट वी हैव नॉट फुलफिल्ड दैट पर्टिकुलर डिडक्शन शेड्यूल. वहां पे अगर मिसमैच है तो ये आ सकता है. देन in respect of a deduction where such deduction exceeds the specified statutory limit. मान लीजिए सर, हमने जो हाउस प्रॉपर्टी का एग्जांपल ले लेते हैं, हमारे पास 30% का स्टैंडर्ड डिडक्शन अवेलेबल है. इफ वी हैव टेकन दैट 30% the deduction more than 30%, then it can be challenged here. Now the issue is that the inconsistency should be evident on the face of the information. इट इज नॉट लाइक कि मेरे वहां पे कोई और डाटा आ गया है या कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन ऐसी अवेलेबल है डिपार्टमेंट के पास आउट ऑफ दीज इंफॉर्मेशन विच इज पार्ट ऑफ माय रिटर्न. देन ऑन सर, I'll take the examples. Clause 1 of this explanation refers to a situation where the claim of income or expenditure at 2 places. अब हुआ क्या है सर, हमने शेड्यूल प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस के अंदर एक रेंटल इनकम ले ली 1000 रुपया, और हमने शेड्यूल बीपी के अंदर जो हमारा बिजनेस एंड प्रोफेशन का है वहां पे हमने कुछ और डिडक्शन डाल दी, तो दैट विल बी बिकम अ प्रॉब्लम, एंड इन द प्रोसेसिंग ऑफ 143(1) that it can be rightly taken. Then comes की सिचुएशन जैसे मैंने बताया 80G की प्रॉब्लम है या उसकी है. So the purpose is that what is to be included, what is to be compared in 143(1)A processing, only the data which is available on record in the return of income can be challenged. अब सर एक इशू पे आते हैं कि what is हमने whether हमारी रिटर्न फाइल करनी है, let's call take an example of a proprietorship concern which is supposed to be audited. अब रिटर्न ऑफ इनकम के अंदर हमें साथ में एक ऑडिट रिपोर्ट भी फाइल करनी है for our claim of the entire for the entire purpose of the filing of the return. Now, the issue is, what is an audit report? What is a Form 3CD? A Form 3CD is a requirement by the department wherein an auditor is required to look into the issues as claimed by the assessee in the return of income and in the balance sheet, and whether such issues are allowable or not. तो क्या मेरा जो ऑडिट रिपोर्ट है, इट इज पार्ट ऑफ माय रिटर्न? इट इज अ डिबेटेबल इशू, बट बिकॉज इट इज टू बी फाइल्ड अलोंग विद माय रिटर्न ऑफ इनकम, एंड अगर हम रूल 12 के अंदर भी जाएं तो वहां पे स्पेसिफाइड है कि कौन से फॉर्म्स फाइल कर रहे हैं, एंड अंडर सेक्शन 139(6) आल्सो इट सेज कि रेड विद द रूल कि प्रिस्क्राइब्ड फॉर्म्स एंड प्रिस्क्राइब्ड फॉर्म्स एंड दीज रूल्स include an audit report to be filed under Form 3CD. Now, I also go back to the intent by which the Form 3CD was introduced. Back in the day, there was no audit report required, only the claims were to be filed. Then, because there was too much on the hands of the assessee, on the assessing officer to get into to verify the claims of the assessee, an obligation was put to the assessee to get an accounts audited through a chartered accountant and file the same with the along with the return of income. Now, whether Form 3C assessee independent of the assessee by the auditor is the main issue jahan pe which leads to the variations in 143(1). There are points in the audit report which are merely an information to be provided by the assessing by the chartered accountant, and there are also certain clauses wherein the chartered accountant has to give its judgment as to whether the claims are allowed or not. Now, I'll come to this the audit report clauses, and then we'll go back to certain judgments which will compare कि 143(1) के अंदर हो क्या सकता है कि what are the issues which can be taken. Sir, audit report के अंदर there are 44 clauses wherein the information is required to be filed by the chartered accountant. The major issues which are there is under clause 15 to 24, wherein all the issues, all the judgments or the information is provided by the chartered accountant. Examples can be of bonus and commissions of the employees, contributions of the employees to various funds like ESI and PF, capital expenditure or personal expenditure, whether the amount is inadmissible like a gratuity disallowance, etc., and payments to related parties, etc. Now, under these different clauses, there are different obligations with the chartered accountant, so as to whether only the information is to be provided or the judgment is to be provided whether the amount is allowable or not. Now, I will go back to the interpretation of 143(1), and in light of the information that is also there in the audit report and the various judgments कि 143(1) के अंदर what can be compared. As we also discussed कि explanation जो है, जो limit कर रही हैं the phrase shall mean या then how to interpret 143(1). There is a judgment which is a Veerappan Primary Education Agricultural Cooperative Credit Society. This is a Madras High Court judgment wherein it was held that the explanation cannot curtail or restrict the main thrust and scope of the provision, and due weightage has to be as well as meaning has to be attributed to the purpose of 143(1). Now, sir, the issue is whether second, I just lost the plot. Just मैं एक मिनट एक पॉइंट रेज करना चाह रहा था. एक सेकंड, सॉरी. एक मिनट आप इसको कंटिन्यू करोगे. आई जस्ट गेट बैक टू ये डिस्कस कर लेते हैं. कैन यू जस्ट टेक इट मैम? नो, एक बार आप दे दो. जस्ट टेक 2 minutes टू जस्ट.
Like for example, dividend is included in the business income and not reported under the head income from other sources, whereas TDS was deducted thereon on the basis of which adjustment is made. Day in, day out, we receive such kind of thing that it is reported in 26 AS because TDS is deducted. Some nowadays TDS is also deducted on dividend payments in case it exceeds a particular limit. Now, issue arises. What kind of system are you following? Whether you're showing cash system or mercantile, issue arises. In case such kind of issues arises, then you must immediately file application number 154. Now, this salary income, in case you see the monitor, income as per income tax return is 9.83 and income credited as per 26 A's is 9.85. There is inconsistency as per the department. होता क्या है, आप लोगों को HRA भी मिलता है, एम्प्लॉइज को कैलकुलेशन होती है, आप एक्सप्लेनेशन दीजिए, डिपार्टमेंट बिल्कुल दे आर रेडी टू लिसन टू इट. ऐसा नहीं है कि दे आर एडमिट, लेकिन थोड़ा सी मेहनत प्रोफेशनल्स की हो जाती है. हाँ जी
Sir, I'm sorry. There was one point that I was wanting to make, for which I took some time. So, see, and let's take it with the examples only and what Ranjan sir was taking it. तो बीच में ही हम उसको discuss कर लेंगे. The cases. Sir, issues. These are some practical issues which we have taken it up. जैसे जैसे issues आते हैं, I'll go back to the law and the case laws which are going to explain the whole issue. Sir, starting from the first issue कि एक इनकम हमारे पास ऐसी रिपोर्ट हुई है which is there in the information which is available with the CPC either in the form of 26 AS or AIS or anything which is not there in the computation of income or the return of income. However, the TDS has been deducted thereupon. Now, sir, this is a very very basic problem जिसकी वजह से ये 143(1)A इशू होगा और वेरिएंस इशू होएगा और उसका हमें whether the addition can be made or not. Now, there are three possibilities to this. Whether income actually was received but missed out of reporting. हमारे पास एक्चुअली इनकम आई, लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल हमारे पास एक डिविडेंड इनकम आई जो एक कंपनी ने रिपोर्ट करी थी ऑन द शेयर्स दैट वी हैव परचेज्ड. However, we have not received that income in our bank account. Now, dividend income is taxable as a routine income in the hands of the assessee, and TDS is to be required to be deducted under Section 194. हमारे पास इंफॉर्मेशन अवेलेबल है फॉर्म 26 एस के अंदर, हमारी इनकम में नहीं है, मिसमैच आया, उन्होंने हमें 143(1)A भेज दी. दिस इज अ प्रॉब्लम पर से हमारी. We did not check whether that income was credited to our account or not. It is possible that that income is due to be received by us, but it is not received. In that case, हमें अपनी रिटर्न या तो रिवाइज करनी है या अगर हम उसका टीडीएस का क्लेम नहीं ले रहे हैं और हमने फ्यूचर ईयर के अंदर रिपोर्ट करनी है, देन वी कैन गो टू दी देयर इज अ कॉलम इन द रिटर्न which says that we can carry it forward to the next year and claim the income and the TDS in the subsequent year whenever the same is claimed. Then there can be a possibility that a certain income belongs to you or partially belongs to you. An example thereof can be a rental income. मान लीजिए मेरे पास एक property है which belongs to my, which is in the name of me and my wife. The rental income is received partially by me and my wife. The taxability of that income is again to be shared. However, for the purpose of reporting, my tenant may have reported the entire income to me. Similar can be a case जहां पे एक joint account से FD हुआ हुआ है.
जस्ट टू इंटरजेक्ट, हम सब ऑडिट रिपोर्ट साइन करते हैं. ऑडिट होता है इन द मंथ ऑफ जुलाई, अगस्त, सितंबर. ठीक. एसएससी प्रोविजन कर देता है 1 लाख रुपए का ऑन 31st ऑफ मार्च. ऑडिट होता है जुलाई, अगस्त, सितंबर ऑफ 25. बिकॉज एसएससी हैज टू कंप्लाई विद 194J, वो 10% टीडीएस काट लेता है. 40AI का प्रोविजन अट्रैक्ट होता है, वो टीडीएस नहीं काटता. आप बिल रेज करते हैं, उसका अब पेमेंट आती है अप्रैल में जाके. दैट गोज सब्सिक्वेंटली टू असेसमेंट ईयर 26, 27 से भी आगे 27, 28 में चली जाती है. उस केस में हम प्रोफेशनल्स के हु आर फॉलोइंग कैश सिस्टम ऑफ अकाउंटिंग, देयर इज अ कॉलम ऑफ शोइंग इट एज कैरिंग फॉरवर्ड दिस टीडीएस ऑफ 10%. सो दैट जो एसएससी को भी अपना लॉ कंप्लाई करना है, अगर वो कंप्लाई नहीं करेगा तो 40IA आ जाएगा. आपको पैसा नहीं मिला क्योंकि आप कैश सिस्टम ऑफ अकाउंट फॉलो करते हैं. आपको मिला अप्रैल, इसमें 3 साल इन्वॉल्व हो जाते हैं. ऐसे करके बहुत सारे डिफरेंट प्रॉब्लम्स आते हैं. लेकिन रिटर्न में अब कॉलम आ चुका है. जो पहले हम लोग 154 करते थे, इंडेमनिटी बॉन्ड देते थे, नाउ दैट हैज बीन सिंप्लीफाइड बाय द डिपार्टमेंट.
So again, the issue remains in filing of the return, that how we are filing the return and how we are treating the computation of income and a particular income in our return of income. So the issues that I was discussing was, again, I go back that the dividend income is included in the business income and not reported under the head other sources. Sir, इसके अंदर अगर just going by the words and just going by the problem, is a dividend income is received and it is included in the business income in my schedule, in my profit and loss account. Similar can be a situation जहां पे मेरे पास एक interest income आई है on a FD which is created in my business and the income is reported in my profit and loss account, and net profit is declared upon that. And there can be a situation जहां पे मैं उसको या तो मैं उसका हेड चेंज करके रिपोर्ट करूं इनकम को in other sources, we take it out from the income of business and profession and we report it into the other sources. Or a similar situation, in the same situation, auditor reports in the respective columns of other income. अब यहाँ पे होगा क्या कि एक जगह मेरी इनकम आ गई प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट के अंदर, जहां पे नेट इनकम मैंने डिक्लेयर कर दिया इंक्लूडिंग माय इंटरेस्ट इनकम, एंड द ऑडिटर आल्सो रिपोर्ट्स इट इनटू द अदर सोर्सेज इनकम, which will definitely create a difference and variation, resulting into a variation. In this particular scenario, we have to be very consistent in what is to be filed. Meaning thereby, sir, एक ऑडिटर है, ऑडिटर ने देखा प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट भी वही फाइनल कर रहा है, अकाउंट्स को ऑडिट भी वही कर रहे हैं, एंड वही हमारी ऑडिट रिपोर्ट भी अपलोड कर रहे हैं. इन लाइट देयर ऑफ, या तो अगर वो प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस के अंदर रिपोर्टेड है तो हम उसको, एंड आई एम टॉकिंग टू यू अबाउट अ प्रोप्राइटरशिप कंसर्न जहां पे प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस उसी आदमी का है जिसकी रिटर्न ऑफ इनकम. नाउ आइदर दैट अदर सोर्सेज इनकम इन द फॉर्म ऑफ दैट इंटरेस्ट कैन बी reported in the capital account of the SSC so that it does not form part of my net profit, and the same can be reported by the auditor as income from other sources in the audit report. The other eventuality, अगर वो already in profit and loss के अंदर included है, then it should not be reported as other sources income in the audit report. Now here also the issue is, and we go back to the judgments, whether the information available in the return of income and as available in the other documents, whether they can be adjusted as variations under 143(1)(a) or not. Another issue, 143(1)(a) के अंदर, whether if there is a information which is reported by the auditor, let's say for example, हमारे पास सबके पास problems आई हैं related to ESI and PF. Now ESI PF के अंदर क्या problem है कि the chartered accountant is required to prepare a date-wise chart stating what are the dates of payments of these certain transactions, wherein and on what dates the assessee, the employer, has deposited the amounts with the government. What happens is the law was changed, and it was said that if the employee share is deposited beyond the due date, which is the 15th of every month, that will be included in the meaning of income, and tax has to be paid thereupon. अब सर इसमें इशू क्या आया है कि whether this variation which is given by way of 143(1) is valid or not. What the chartered accountant did was merely report certain dates and did not go into the interpretation of the issue, whether this is allowable expense or not allowable expense. It is merely an information which is provided there. Whether this issue is a justified issue to be added or as can be reported as variance in 143(1) or not. Now, I go back to the judgments which we are discussing. There is a very famous case which by the name of Semitile Industries. It says an adjustment in respect of belated remittance to the PF and ESI under 36(1) VA and with respect to 224(10) of the Act is not permissible under section 143(1)(a), subclause 2. Then there was a contrary view which was provided in Gantubolu Uma Sai Prasad, an ITR judgment, and there are multiple judgments of various tribunals जहाँ पे the various benches have given varied judgments. Sir, this was also taken up by the Apex Court in the case of Checkmate Services, a very celebrated judgment, wherein it is held that the deductions shall be allowed only if the employer's contribution is remitted on or before the date. We are aware of this judgment. तो सर हो क्या रहा है कि there is an interpretation of the issue whether it is an allowable expense or not allowable expense. Merely because the information is there in the audit report does not mean that it is a disallowable expense to be taken up in the return of income. Sir, latest on this case is very, very important, and I've also shared in this presentation. Just 2 days before, the Apex Court has again issued an SLP. A notice has been issued and an SLP filed by the SSE on the issue of disallowances, whether in respect of the employee's contribution to PF and ESI. The Supreme Court is again going to look into whether the employee's contribution and an employer contribution are to be taken up at the same level or not. However, the fact of the matter is, sir, which is very, very important, that a notice has been issued by the Supreme Court to consider this matter, meaning thereby, sir, कि this issue involves interpretation. The difference between section 143(1) and section 1A and 143(2), जहां पे हम scrutiny assessment करते हैं, जहां पे assessing officer has the power to delve into the issue whether the claim of the assessee is correctly filed or correctly claimed or not. The major difference between 143(1) subsection 1 and subsection 2 is whether the claim is as filed by the assessee or whether the claim as claimed by the assessee. That is the major difference. कि हमने रिटर्न सिर्फ फाइल करा है या क्लेम किया है. If there is a justification on the claim, it can only be taken up in 143(2) and not 143(1). So, in my humble opinion, there is a lot of confusion going on in the department, and some clarification has to be given by the board whether on this issue, whether what can be taken up in 143(1) subsection 1 and subsection 2. Then, sir, going back, these are some other judgments also. I'll come to this in a little bit. Then I go back to these practical scenarios which are there. Now, sir, there is another issue which comes up as a TDS mismatch. The issue is, first I'll read the issue. The deduction claimed under section 80M against dividend received from another domestic company, whether proper correct claim details regarding declaration of dividend and payments thereof are reported in the return. Sir, ATM क्या कहता है? ATM ये कहता है कि in case there is a dividend declared by a company which is received by another domestic company is allowed as a deduction on fulfillment of certain conditions. Conditions क्या है कि that receiving domestic company further issues dividends of the same amount, and the deduction is available if the amount is declared, the dividend is declared up to that amount. Now, whether I, in filing of the return, have correctly reported the deduction claimed and the payment of dividend in a proper manner or not is going to make all the difference whether the variation is proposed or not. यहाँ पे अगर हम इसकी इंफॉर्मेशन को तरीके से नहीं फाइल कर रहे हैं, then obviously this is going to make a difference and obviously the variations are to be made. अब आते हैं सर एक और मेजर इशू के अंदर, ग्रेच्युटी प्रोविजंस. Now, gratuity के ऊपर भी we all know there are two provisions. I'll also request your comments upon that. Now, there are two provisions under which this deduction can be reported in an audit report. I think the clause is 20B where the amount is to be reported. And under section 40A7 and 40A3, both of the provisions यहाँ पे both ही.
जनरल में ऐसा होता है जसपाल जी, just for the information of the house, जहाँ gratuity का provision देखा,
रंजन सर थोड़ा सा स्क्रीन के पास सर, माइक के पास है तो प्लीज थोड़ा सा.
ठीक है, जहाँ ग्रेच्युटी का देखा ना, वो दो कॉलम में जाते हैं, 43B या 40A7. मेन इंटेंट आपको देखना है वेदर इट इज प्रोविजन यू डन फॉर ग्रेच्युटी फंड, तब तो हम जाते हैं 43B में. अगर एक्चुअल वैल्यूएशन का है देन वी गो टू 40A7. अगर ऑडिटर दो जगह रिपोर्ट करेगा तो सिस्टम उसका डिसअलाउंस दो बार ले लेगा. ऑडिटर हैज टू बी कॉन्शियस कि वो कहाँ लेके जा रहा है. एक ही जगह दिखाना है. 43B कहता है फंड और 40A7 इट इज ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ एक्चुअल वैल्यूअर. अगर वहां लेके जा रहा है तो उधर ना दिखाए. अगर वहां दिखा दिया तो डबल डिडक्शन, डबल एडिशन कर देता है सिस्टम. ये बस ध्यान रखें. बस ये ऑडिटर हैज टू टेक केयर. अगर वहां से पर चांस लग के आ जाता है तो देन ऑल्टरनेटिव व्यू है कि टैक्स ऑडिट को रिवाइज करें.
See, this is again a very big issue that in the recent past what we have seen is कि बहुत सारी audit reports इस वजह से revise हुई हैं, and majorly because of the gratuity provisions, the bonus provisions, and the ESI provisions. Sir, similarly, again a parallel or a overlapping issue is the reporting of the parallel issues. Say for example, ये MSME का मैंने issue यहाँ पे लिया था. Now we know that the payments to MSME, if they are beyond a time which is prescribed under 43BH, that is to be disallowed. Now, in the audit report, particularly that point has been taken up under clause for 22 subclause B, and I've also shared the screenshot of that here. कि वहां पे ये provision already आ गया है, which is a specific provision considering the payments and the amounts not allowable under section 43BH. So if the particular section is there, then we cannot, the auditor cannot declare it in the general disallowances under 43B also. And if such double reporting is there, of course, it will lead to the duplication of the amount. Then, sir, we head on to the another example which says any amount of profit chargeable to tax under section 41. सर 41 के अंदर अगर हमारी रिकवरी ऑफ बैड डेट्स आ रही है या इंटरेस्ट रिटर्न बैक है which is there in the previous year, it is to be reported in the tax audit report. it boils down to the similar situation that it has to be properly accounted for in the profit and loss account, in the schedule P&L and schedule BP. If it is not accounted for properly in either the return of income and the tax audit report, it will definitely lead to the variations which are proposed.
41 क्या होता है? It is remission of liability. लिखा है heading ही होती है amount of provisions of the liabilities written back by crediting P&L account. Already credited होता है और tax auditor को इसको disclosure है. Department इसको addition कर देता है. 41 को अगर already 50 lakhs वहाँ पर दिखाया हुआ है, उसको 40 lakhs को 50 lakhs.
Ranjan, come closer to the mic. You're not audible.
Is it okay, Anilji?
That's okay.
Now fine, sir. Now.
Because 41(1) is remission of liability. मैं ऑलरेडी अपना P&L अकाउंट उस अमाउंट से क्रेडिट कर चुका हूं. ऑडिटर को क्या करना होता है? वो डिस्क्लोजर कर रहा है. डिपार्टमेंट वो डिस्क्लोजर को नहीं लेता. जो मैंने डिस्क्लोज किया उसके अपार्ट फ्रॉम में उसका वो डबल एडिशन कर देता है. आपने कोई इंटरेस्ट एड बैक किया, कोई बैड डेट्स आपने करे थे, वो उसको दोबारा से एडिशन करता है, विच इज ब्लेटेंटली रॉन्ग.
Then, sir, coming to the claim of brought forward losses, and we have discussed this earlier also under section 139(3), sorry, that in case there are some losses to be reported, the same have to be, the return of income in that particular year has to be filed within time. Now, sir, what happens is, लेट्स टेक फॉर एन एग्जांपल असेसमेंट ईयर 25-26 के अंदर मैं एक रिटर्न फाइल कर रहा हूं जहां पे मेरा कुछ प्रॉफिट है अंडर कैपिटल गेन्स एंड मेरा कुछ लॉसेस थे इन माय प्रीवियस इयर्स, से फॉर एग्जांपल बिगिनिंग फ्रॉम असेसमेंट ईयर 22, 23 एंड सो फोर्थ अप टू 24, 25. अब हुआ क्या, जो मेरी 22, 23 की रिटर्न थी, या तो मैंने वो उस टाइम पे टाइम से फाइल नहीं हुई, या आज की डेट में जब मैं रिटर्न फाइल कर रहा हूं फॉर क्लेमिंग माय ब्रॉट फॉरवर्ड लॉसेस, वहां पे मैंने डेट ऑफ माय फाइलिंग ऑफ रिटर्न मैंने तरीके से नहीं भरी. इट विल डेफिनेटली लीड टू माय एडजस्टमेंट्स एंड वेरिएशंस इन 143(1). अब सर एक और केस में मेरे साथ क्या हुआ है, माय एंड इट इज अ प्रैक्टिकल केस व्हिच वाज हैंडल्ड बाय माय ऑफिस. In the current year, we claimed the losses. 143(1) was issued and it was allowed. Subsequently, I receive a notice under 154 of the act stating that on, and I'll read it. This is the live example. I've shared it without the particulars of the assessee. And it says, on perusal of the order passed on such and such date, it is seen that while processing the return, claim of brought forward losses was erroneously allowed as the return of previous year for which set off of losses is claimed was furnished beyond the due date. Sir, it's a very, very peculiar example. I checked the facts. All the returns were filed within time. However, in this case, sir, what happened was, it is a case of an LLP. जहां पे मेरी 22-23 से लेके 23-24, 24-25 तक की रिटर्न्स were filed timely. But what happened was, the LLP was subjected to audit under the statutory provisions and not under audit report. Sorry, not under 44AB because of the turnovers. Now, because it is a statutory audit under 139(1), my due date is October and not July. My return was filed in September, which is within the due date. However, while filing the original returns, office ने क्या किया, वो एक particular tick mark that my LLP is required to be audited by way of a statutory provision, वो click नहीं हुआ. Now, by doing this, my entire claim of those losses has not been allowed by way of a 154. Now, this is again an issue which needs introspection, whether such issues can be taken up under 154 or not, but I will not deviate from the issue. The issue at hand, that is to be discussed, is if I have to claim the brought forward losses, the returns are required to be filed within the time, and the claim of such dates is also required to be filed correctly in my return of income today. Only then the due claim will be allowed, and and in the other eventuality, the variance shall be issued. Again, sir, TDS claims are not, moving on to the next one, TDS claims are not allowed because of not giving proper credit and proper details regarding TAN is not. Of course, it will lead to problems. There's nothing much which needs to be introspected into this. Then claims of TDS brought forward from earlier years. Yes, sir, very important. Again, as Ranjan ji also pointed out a little while ago, कि एक assessee है, and particularly professionals, who's assessed on a cash basis. There are TDS which are deducted in a particular year. However, I have not received the fee thereof in my current financial year. Obviously, I will not want to take it up in my total turnover of the year. And the mistake that generally everybody makes here is that we claim the TDS. However, we do not claim the income thereof. Sir, my humble advice here would be that in case there is such a situation, we should carry forward the TDS of such years to the next year. And while doing so, we should also, obviously, will be carrying forward the income to the next year also. In the next year, when we are claiming it, we have to make sure that the TDS claims that were brought forward from the earlier year are correctly reported as brought forward in this year. If we do not match the carryover of the TDS with today's brought forward, the variations are bound to take place. Moving on, sir. Sometimes in the return net amount of income is okay. Now the issue here is that issue pertains to the income of other sources. मेरे पास एक ऐसी इंटरेस्ट इनकम आई है, एक एफडी के अगेंस्ट इंटरेस्ट मेरे को आया है 10,000 रुपए, बट आई हैव ऑल्सो यूज्ड दैट अमाउंट इन मेकिंग सम इन्वेस्टमेंट्स, और जहां पे मेरे को ये एक्सपेंस क्लेम करना है ऑफ द इंटरेस्ट पेड, जो मैंने एफडी करवाई है वो मैंने एक ऐसे पैसे से करवाई है जिसके ऊपर मेरे को इंटरेस्ट बियर करना पड़ रहा है, एंड दैट इज एन अलाउबल एक्सपेंस अंडर सेक्शन 57 ऑफ द इनकम टैक्स एक्ट. नाउ द मिस्टेक दैट जनरली is made here is that we report a net income which is only to be taxed, and we do not claim the proper expenses under section 57. मान लो मेरे पास 1,000 रुपए की टोटल इनकम आई है और मेरे पास 200 रुपए के एक्सपेंसेस हैं. Instead of reporting the full amount of income earned and the expenses, I report only an income of 800 rupees. Of course, it is bound to give me difference or variations between my reported income and the income that is available in my form 26 AS. Now,
it is better to show, इसका wire media is better to show gross and then less the expenses. Yes,
that is exactly
Yes.
what I pointed out.
Yes.
Now, sir,
And in case you have missed out on the date, then you can file by way of letter to have the rectification done.
we'll be discussing. बाद में करते हैं.
ठीक है.
Now, sir, coming to some more examples, and then we'll quickly move on to the various available answers. इसके solutions क्या हैं उस पे आते हैं. फटाफट इसको 5 मिनट में डिस्कस कर लेते हैं. Coming on to the charitable trusts, if we have not correctly reported the registration number of the as registered under section 12AA, तो वो भी आपको variance नहीं मिलेगा, and my income will be the tax will be calculated on the regular basis, and of course the variance is bound to take place. Then this is also to be seen that application of accumulated funds has not been properly made. या हमने properly भी दी भी है, तो there have been instances जहां पे the system has miscalculated it and the tax has been levied on the entire income. Now, very honestly, there are certain live examples जहां पे the returns were properly filed. There were some system errors wherein the amount was not properly calculated and demands have been computed therein. So that I'll be discussing in the solutions. Sir, your comments on this.
In this case, you continue to write application under 154, and after some time, this is my practical experience, CPC transfers the right to jurisdictional assessing officer, JAO, which we nowadays call, and there you can pursue and your issue is settled and demand would be nullified.
Moving on, a very simple issue need not be dwelled into, but because it was taken as an example, I'll share it. In certain cases, the charitable trust employees who are not trustees, members of the trust, are wrongly shown as persons having substantial interest. Or of course, अगर हम उसको properly show नहीं करेंगे, and it becomes AOP, it is considered to be an AOP. The variations are bound to happen. So again, very importantly, the information in the return is to be filled up with great sensitivity so as to avoid all these issues. सर 26 AS के अंदर है, AIS के अंदर इंफॉर्मेशन है, TDS mismatch है, we have already discussed it, need not be dwelled into. Income is not credited to P&L account. Again, I think we have discussed it all. Let's अच्छा, एक very important subject, sir. The correct selection of the special provisions under section 115. Sir, we are aware there in cases of a company, there are different conditions and different rate of taxes which can be selected. Mind you, sir, the information is to be filled up in the income tax return as well and the audit report as well. It is very important that we select the correct and tick mark this correct the column or the option of the rate of tax being 115 BA, BAA or BA 115 BAB. Similar is the situation with the individual assessees जहाँ पे हमें proper select करना है which regime we are taking. Along with this, we also have to be very particular with the fact that the respective forms for claiming the respective options are properly filed. So unless those are done, these are again the variance is bound to take place. And this is 10IE जो form है जो हमारा individual tax returns के लिए है. Mind you, sir, अगर हमने properly वो time से नहीं choose की regime and the return is filed beyond the due date under section 139(1), the old tax regime option will not be available to the assessees. बहुत बार ये होता है कि I want to avail the deductions. The assessee has planned his returns in a fashion कि old returns, old regime के अंदर भी उसको deductions claim करनी है और उसके अंदर expenses incur किए हुए हैं. But just because of the wrong timing, we are not filing the proper forms 10IEA, and the claims cannot be made beyond the due dates. So this is again very of great relevance and importance that those issues are taken up. Now, sir, coming to the second limb of today's discussion, which is defective returns under section 139. Sir, एक बड़ा important aspect reading में निकल के आया, which is that what is the difference between the 143(1) variations and what reasons are there which lead to the defective returns, the issue of returns or treatment of returns as defective under 139(9). Sir, if we carefully read the provisions of section 143(1) and 139(9), there is clear deciphering of the issues and the clear deciphering of the provisions. I'll just take one as an example. Sir, 26 AS, AIS और फॉर्म 16 या वो है, अगर हमारे पास उसकी वेरिएशन आ रही है या हमने उसकी क्लेम प्रॉपर नहीं फाइल किया है, इट यूज्ड टू बी अ केस कि 143(1) के अंदर उसकी वेरिएंस आती थी एंड वी वर रिक्वायर्ड टू फाइल आइदर रिवाइज्ड रिटर्न और द डिमांड्स वर जनरेटेड. सर 143(1) के अंदर explanation, last explanation to the provision says that in case such issues are there, 143(1) will not be issued after 2018. And mind you, sir, that provision has been incorporated in 139(9), stating that if such is an issue, मीनिंग देयर बाय सर, अगर मेरे पास 26 एएस के अंदर कोई इनकम रिपोर्टेड है, टीडीएस रिपोर्टेड है, मैंने वो इनकम अपनी इनकम में नहीं ली है, या मैंने उसका टीडीएस क्लेम कर लिया है और उसकी वेरिएशन है, it will not be a subject matter of variation under 143(1) but a defective return under 139(9). So again, very clearly and very carefully we have to read and understand both the sections, and only according to that we have to look how to handle these problems. Now under 139(9), if a variation, if a defective, if a notice is received that the that you are hereby given this opportunity, and this mismatch is there in your return of income, and why this income why this return may not be treated as a defective return under 139(9), there is a time of 15 days which is allowed for the assessee to revert to that. अगर तो हम उसको मैच कर लेते हैं, हम एक्सेप्ट कर लेते हैं, our return is accepted as filed within time, and the provision says that my जो 15 days का time है, that will be condoned and my return will be treated as filed within the time of the original return filed. So it is very important to look into, timely we look into such issues, and timely we revert onto that. Now the biggest problem, if I have to say, the biggest problem in these cases is that जहां पे हमें जो रिप्लाई करने की ऑप्शन है वो बहुत लिमिटेड दी जाती है, या रिप्लाई करने का जो टाइम है वो बहुत लिमिटेड दिया जाता है. से फॉर एग्जांपल 139 के अंदर ही अगर हम बात करें, 139 का जब नोटिस आता है, वी हैव टू रिवर्ट विद इन अ मैटर ऑफ 15 डेज. अब रिवर्ट जब हमने करना है, वो आता है एक इलेक्ट्रॉनिक पैनल के अंदर, जहां पे या तो हमें अग्री करना है या डिसअग्री करना है. अग्री करना है और लिमिटेडली अग्री करना है तो उसका कोई प्रोविजन नहीं है, which is the biggest problem for everybody. Sir, I'll require your comments also here. मेरे पास जब वो विंडो आती है अग्री करने की या डिसएग्री करने की, डिसएग्री करना है तो वो रीप्रोसेसिंग में जाएगा, एंड इट इज यूजुअली अ केस जहां पे वो उन्होंने उसको रिजेक्ट ही करना है. उसके अंदर ऑप्शंस क्या है, वी विल कंसीडर दैट. बट अगर मुझे पार्शियली अग्री करना है, या से फॉर एग्जांपल हमने अभी डिस्कस किया था कि देयर इज सम पार्शियल इनकम व्हिच बिलोंग्स टू मी एंड पार्शियल इनकम डज नॉट बिलोंग टू मी, वैसा कोई प्रोविजन नहीं है डिफेक्टिव रिटर्न्स का रिप्लाई करने के. मैं एआईएस के अंदर जाके भी ठीक कर लूं, मैं वो पार्शियली एक्सेप्ट कर लूं, नहीं है. या दूसरी ऑप्शन आती है, आई रिवाइज द रिटर्न कंप्लीटली एंड फाइल अ फ्रेश रिटर्न. नाउ इन दैट आल्सो सर, पर्टिकुलरली दिस ईयर इफ आई हैव टू से, हमें पता है कि हमारी जो ओरिजिनल रिटर्न्स हैं, इवन 139(1) की जुलाई की रिटर्न्स वर एक्सटेंडेड टू 15 सितंबर. The returns for audit cases was also increased from October to November. Now what happened was 139(9) के notice या 143(1) के notices आए up till the end of December, and my time for revising my returns was also limited to 31st of December. There was hardly any time for me to file the returns or file responses thereof. Now that is of very great importance and relevance, and it was discussed in the circles, in the professional circles, with that a representation be given to extend the time of filing revised returns also. So that is that is where the 139(9) provisions are also very important to be looked into. I have again shared here with some of the examples of defective returns under 139(9) कि कहाँ और कैसे कैसे ये notices आते हैं. Now, sir, let me quickly jump to the solutions and the alternatives available. Sir, problems तो हमने discuss कर ली कि हमें variations आ रही हैं, whether variations are validly given or not. There are judicial precedents to say कि ये होना चाहिए कि नहीं होना चाहिए. We have discussed that. But at the end of the day, variations are there. Notices of defective returns are there. And how to handle is a very, very critical issue. So first and foremost option is whether we are in agreement or disagreement of the return. अगर हमें disagreement है तो obviously there are not much options to be given, not much information to be shared कि उसको why do we disagree on that. Yeah, if we partially agree, so there is hardly any option available to us to file that. The only option that comes to my mind is filing of a revised return with correct details, या reprocessing of the return. We request for the reprocessing of the return. And I think it is needless to say कि अगर हम reprocessing डालेंगे भी, the result is the same. And the variations or the whatever the notice is, it is confirmed in due time. Now, sir, we come to the second option, that once this one variation is received as a final 143.1 and the variation is marked, what options do we have? The first one, foremost option is to file a rectification under 154. Now, again, this leads to a second problem, that whether this 154 is to be filed where, whether it is to be filed with the CPC or whether it is filed with the jurisdictional assessing officer. जब हम jurisdictional assessing officer के पास जाते हैं, वो कहते हैं हमारे पास कोई rights नहीं है. You approach the CPC only and we cannot help you here. Yes, of course, there is option now available at the portal itself that a rectification request can be filed. It was a very welcome step which was introduced last year. Although the same has been available and we are able to file certain rectifications, but because of this computerized system, I don't see real solutions being given here. Now, sir, this leads and brings to me to a very, very interesting clause, which is the provision, which is section 264 of the Act. Sir, section 264 क्या कहता है? Where any return is processed or where any order is passed, which is prejudicial to the interest of the assessee, a revision application can be filed with the principal commissioner or principal chief commissioner. Now, when we do this, what are the advantages that we gain out of filing a revision petition than a regular appeal before the CIT? So the advantage is that आज की डेट के अंदर there are more than 5 lakh appeals. Ranjan sir, there are about 5.5 lakh appeals which are pending before the CIT appeals. तो मेरी एक और अपील उसके अंदर चली जाए, and that also goes into the faceless regime, wherein I am not able to convey how what is the problem there. In relation to that, section 264, a revision petition allows me to come face to face with the officer and put across my grievance in a better manner. Second advantage, sir, क्या है मेरे पास? My CIT appeals has no time limit to give me a solution. We all have witnessed that there are cases जहाँ पे we have filed submissions for more than years and there is no solution. And even if there is a solution, it's a mechanical order which is passed. In contrast thereof, section 264 has a time limitation of 1 year, that the order has to be passed within 1 year after the end of the year in which the application is moved, the petition is moved. So at least there is some timeline and there is some actual human intervention जहाँ पे मैं जाके अपना point lay out कर सकता हूँ for a proper assessment of the order. And mind you, sir, मैंने खुद 264 के अंदर petition file किया है and I have got a favorable order within time. Second issue, sir, very, very important and critical issue, which also deals with 143.1 and 154, is the under what time or under what section we file the revision petition or the appeal before the CIT appeals. Sir, मान लीजिए मेरे पास 143.1 का एक intimation आ गया, and wherein certain variation has been given and the addition has been made. I file a 154 application and my 154 is rejected in a mechanical manner. अब मैं CIT appeal के पास जाते हुए कौन सा section choose करूं मैं? What is my grievance? Whether I go against 143.1 or I go against 154. 154 में मैं नहीं जाता तो मेरा generally देखा जाता है कि मेरा time 30 days का निकल जाता है. By filing a 154, at least we can gain some timeline where we have made an attempt to file a rectification and to think over whether an appeal can be preferred or not. Because appeal में अगर हम पहले ही चले जाएंगे तो of course it is it's a lost battle, and we have bypassed another remedy which was available with us by way of a 154. But अगर हम 154 फाइल करते हैं और 154 रिजेक्ट हो जाता है, then my grievance with the CIT appeals is merely limited to the rejection of my 154 application. Sir, that is not the case. There is doctrine of merger also, and there are judicial pronouncements to say that once section 154 order is passed, it is merged with the order under section intimation under section 143(1). So what we can do here is that we can file the appeal under section 154, read with section 143(1), wherein we in the grounds of appeal, we take up the issues and the actual grievance of the additions made under 143(1), and we say that the assessing officer has erred in not allowing my rectification application, which was required to be made in against the wrongful addition made. So that is one very critical issue which is to be taken up in this this whole array of the variations under 143(1)(a) or defective return under 139. Sir, the alternate remedy is also of filing of a writ petition before the High Court. Now, before I get into the writ petition arena, it is very important to understand that writ petitions is not allowed as a candy to anybody and everybody. Writ petitions are very rare petitions, and it is a remedy for, wherein no remedy is available to the assessee. In case any order is appealable, the High Courts do not want to get into the merits of the case, and they say that we will not entertain a writ petition directly on the subject. It is a remedy in the exceptional cases wherein the additions as made are of so grave impossibility that a regular appeal cannot be looked into, or if there is a jurisdictional issue which leads to a order, only in those cases the writ petitions can be entertained by the High Court. So yes, those remedies are available, but they are very sensitive to the fact that it is not available on as a free candy to anybody and everybody can go to the High Court.
That when you have alternate remedy, why have you come directly to us?
Sir, it is
First you exhaust other remedy, then only you come to High Court. That should be your last resort. Not anyone can walk in and file writ.
But if the issue is so grave and the issue is so apparent that despite my correct claims, my additions are made, we can definitely go to the High Court, and the High Court is open to such giving such reliefs.
That's well taken, but should be taken in a very peculiar situation.
Absolutely. Now, one additional points, and I think with that I'll just take one more point here, sir. I have been developing a reason and a case wherein we can approach the High Court on a jurisdictional challenge to the 143(1) notices in the manner in which the 143(1) notices are issued. हमने अभी पहले भी डिस्कस किया था कि while the 143(1) notices are given, it is a very mechanical form जहां पे हमें वो अपनी grievance put forth करने का मौका मिल रहा है. It is not even a case wherein I am being allowed an opportunity of being heard. And mind you, sir, अगर हम 154 के अंदर जाते हैं, 154(3) के अंदर जाते हैं, it says that no order under 154 will be passed unless the assessee is given an opportunity of being heard. वहां पे the provision says opportunity of being heard. However, on contrast, sir, अगर हम 143(1) देखें, वहां पे the words used are that only an intimation is to be provided to the assessee to file a reply. वहां पे the words are not that the assessee be given an opportunity of being heard. So that leads to that leads to the flirting with the principle of natural justice. that I am not even being given an opportunity of being heard and putting my grievance in a proper manner. It is only the computers which is working in those mechanical manners and doing nothing on my grievances. So this is one very basic issue which can be taken up in the High Court, and which will be of benefit to the overall uh, uh, assessees. Sir, then we come to the last, if the time allows.
Rajesh, do we have time? 2 minutes more?
We have already reached the scheduled time, but then you can take a minute or two more.
I'll
because
just quickly run through the last
quickly
option
run
under.
through, and because we have a number of questions also in the
There are a lot of
I'll
questions
just take
also
one more
in the
minute
chat box.
and I'll put the questions to the forum. Sir, the last option available is section, of course, 139(8)(a), which is the updated returns. एक issue यहाँ पे भी है, which is again a subject matter of a constitutional challenge before the High Court under 139(8)(a). Sir, mind you, this is a return of income is a right of the assessee. Yes, of course, when there is a under 139, and we have already gone through it, कि 139 के अंदर there we have received various opportunities in filing the return of income. हमने 139(1) के अंदर regular return ले लिया, 139(4) के अंदर belated return आ गया, 139(5) के अंदर हमारी revised return की opportunity आ गई. Even if we have skipped all of them, 139(8)(a) allows a person to file a return of income as an updated return with which is extended up to 48 months. पहले for 24 months था, and I'm sure everybody is aware कि 48 months हो गया with the various respective taxes as applicable, the additional taxes as applicable. However, sir, the constitutional problem here is, in case there is a loss, in case there is a problem wherein there is a genuine loss which is not available, which has not been claimed by the assessee, I am not allowed to file an updated return. So that is, I think, a constitutional issue which has to be taken up before a writ challenge in a High Court. It cannot be in a regular appeal or anything, but I think it as a constitutional remedy, that as a fundamental right that should be available, and specifically when the same is available for filing the additional tax and not for a claim, a genuine claim of the assessee. Yes, there are certain provisions under 119(2)(b) wherein such claims can be made and petitions can be filed before the board or before the principal chief commissioner. But as a available remedy, those are exceptional cases. As an available remedy, there should be something in the interest of assessees. With these words, sir, I
Over to Rajesh, please.
sir.
Over to Madam Shilpa Gupta to read out the queries.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jaspal ji and Ranjan ji. So I have received total 6 questions, and one question is from Dayasharan Shetty ji. The question is, in the case of a members club governed by mutuality, where only bank interest below the exemption limit is offered to tax, CPC has raised a demand under section 143(1) by applying maximum marginal rate due to PAN being classified as a trust. Is such adjustment legally sustainable, and what is the appropriate remedy, sir? He wants to know that.
Shilpa ji, it would be better to you get your PAN rectified to avoid any kind of further liability in future, because it is a system generated thing.
वही audio
You will not know
थोड़ा volume
सर मूव माइक टुवर्ड्स यू सर. रंजन सर आपके आवाज थोड़ी डिस्टर्ब हो जाती है, प्लीज. हाँ.
अच्छा, मैं कह रहा था, देखो, you should take immediate action to take a new PAN card. Reason being, day in day out, again today you'll have a rectification to avoid this systematic error, because system is not aware whether you are having or not. They'll go with a PAN because it is mentioned as T, as trust.
Yes, sir.
This problem may arise. then the remedy lies is you file a rectification or a appeal before the appropriate authority, and a remedy is available if it is a mistake apparent from record.
Yes, sir. Because this problem is due to PAN being mapped as a trust is the core reason for the problem.
You are right,
sir.
ma'am. You are right, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Sir, then I'll go to the second question. This is from Himanshu Bhatji. The question is, in assessment year 24-25, an ATG deduction was claimed, but the Donnie's TAN was wrongly mentioned, sir. The department is suggesting filing an updated return under section 139(8)(a) or giving up the claim. Is rectification under section 154 the correct remedy, and can a genuine deduction be denied merely due to a clerical error? Sir, he wants to know that.
You are day in, day out appearing before ITAT.
Yes, sir,
Department will always say कि you forego your right, but you should not.
You should not, sir.
Rectify
Foregoing deduction is not the correct legal
No,
solution.
that is not the solution. Yes, because it is a rather mistake apparent from record. Perchance instead of filing P, you have written Q.
Yes,
in the
sir.
PAN, you
It's
should
a
file
clerical. Yes, sir. It's a
Can we
clerical.
rectify the return in this case?
I want to make a point here.
Sir, can we rectify the return in this case, sir?
Time is gone. Anuji.
अच्छा, okay. सर एक तो
Sir, Ranjan sir, again your voice.
हाँ, मैं कहता अनुजी तभी
Not
तो वो
clear.
आपको
You are not
138
audible,
में
sir.
इनवाइट कर रहे हैं
ओके अच्छा
ऑल इंडिया टैक्स बार एसोसिएशन में इनवाइट कर रहे हैं वो कह रहे हैं आप वो फॉरगो करो और टैक्स और 25% टैक्स अलग से दे दो
डन सर
I wanted to make a point here.
हाँ जी
See,
सर
ITR forms are merely
Yes, sir.
a provision by which we are making the claims. It is not by which the claims are to be allowed. If there is a problem in filing or there is a clerical error in filing of the forms, it does not forego my right of claiming the actual deductions. The forms are merely the
Yes,
means. The
sir.
claims are allowed as a statutory provisions.
Yes, sir.
So the claim, there cannot be a case where the claim can be given away with, or the department says that you forego the claim itself.
शिल्पा जी आपके पास गोल्डन आर्म का वो एक सर्कुलर है 1955 का
जी सर.
that assessing officer cannot take
35.
ignorance of the SAC. गलती से
Yes,
कर
sir.
दिया ना उसके लिए आप टांग थोड़ी ना देंगे और ऑफर दे रहे 139
बिल्कुल सर. Yes, sir.
You should come forward. Rather
You
आप
can't
ये action
forego the direction, sir.
या रेक्टिफाई कर लो मेरे ये कहना है हाँ जी मैम
नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन मैम शिल्पा मैम
Yes, sir. Third question is, sir, from Pramoji. Sir, he wants to know that if an adjustment is made under section 143(1), but the issue is not sustained in the subsequent assessment under section 143(3), does the 143(1) adjustment survive, or does it stand merged with the 143(3) order, sir? Is any separate appeal required, sir? He just wants to ask.
both are separate assessment years, so you have to file take recourse to.
So no, sir. Here is not the issue of separate assessment year, sir.
No, 143(1) हुआ है, फिर 143(3) हुआ.
हाँ, तब तो 154 होगा.
Sir, he wants to know only that कि 143(1) gets merged or subsumed into the assessment order.
No. See, it is very, very clear. Once the 143(3) is assessed, all the previous intimations and orders are subsumed into the 143(3), and only one appeal lies, because 143(3) is a deeper introspection of my returns and my claims.
Yes, sir.
Once 143(3) is done, all previous orders and intimations are subsumed into that, and only one appeal lies from it.
Yes, sir. Very well, sir. Thank you, sir. The fourth question is from the Mukesh ji. Sir, he wants to know that income was wrongly and excessively offered under income from other sources on purchase of land, sir. 143(1), after that 143(1) intimation was issued and rectification under 154 was rejected. What is the correct remedy available to the assessee? He wants to know that, sir.
I just discussed this a little while ago. I think that was answered. कि अगर हमारी 143(1) के अंदर एक वेरिएंस आ रही है या एडिशन आ रही है, and we are filing a 154, then the appeal that is to be filed is, of course, with effect from 154. But yes, the original grievance remains of 143(1). So we have to file it in a collective manner कि हमारी
Yes,
date
sir.
भी उसके अंदर ना हो. But so again, applying the doctrine of merger, once 154 is to be read along with 143.1.
Yes, sir. So the next question is from Jhalakji. Sir, her question is his income and TDS relate to assessment year 23-24, but TDS credit was mistakenly claimed in assessment year 25-26. So she wants to know CPC is not granting refund due to mismatch. What is the correct remedy, sir?
Shilpa ma'am, you are not audible. Please.
शिल्पा जी आप आंसर कीजिए, बताइए क्या करना चाहिए. 8 साल बाद क्लेम करेंगे.
तो कैसे मिलेगा सर? यस सर. रंजन सर, आपकी आवाज फिर
Come
धीरे हो
closer to
गई
the
है
mic,
सर.
Ranjan. Closer to the mic. नहीं आ रहे रंजन, आवाज नहीं आ रही.
सर रंजन
Are
सर,
we
आपकी
audible?
आवाज नहीं आ रही है सर.
थोड़ा सा लग.
अभी आ रही है आवाज?
अब आ रही है.
आप आ रही है सर, आप बुलंद आवाज में बोलते हैं सर तब आती है.
वो एक्चुअली ट्रिपल आर हुई थी, 1000 करोड़ की मूवी बन गई थी. राजेश जी ने अब बोला ना आर टू आर, राजेश ने बोला तब मेरी आवाज निकली मेरी.
सर मेरा नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन अनिल जी ने पूछा है सर. सर
अनिल
बहुत
जी को
बड़ा.
अलाउड नहीं है, अनिल जी को अलाउड नहीं है.
नहीं साहब, मैं ये मेरा क्वेश्चन
सर
नहीं है.
ये अनिल जी नहीं है सर, कोई और अनिल जी है और बहुत बड़ा क्वेश्चन है सर, आपको थोड़ा सा पेशेंटली सुनना
इसके
पड़ेगा.
बाद एक लक्ष्मी जी का भी बहुत बड़ा क्वेश्चन
हाँ,
है.
वो अभी 2 क्वेश्चन और आए हैं. सर इनका क्वेश्चन है कि an assessee
अनिल
being a
गर्ग.
senior, अनिल जी का,
अनिल गर्ग.
an assessee being a senior citizen derives income from house property and interest. In addition, he received royalty, copyright income in respect of books authored by him, which were written out of personal interest and not in the course of any business or profession. The aggregate copyright received during the year were below 3 lakh and were claimed as exempt under section 80 QQB. The said royalty income was disclosed in the return under the head income from other sources. Subsequently, the assessee received an information mismatch message from the income tax department stating that the royalty copyright income has not been reported in the return of income. The assessee responded on the compliance portal stating that the information is incorrect and also sent an explanatory email, sir. Whether the response given by the assessee, he wants to know that whether the response given by the assessee is adequate or whether any further corrective or procedural action is required to properly address the mismatch, sir.
In this question, what is the total income? So now, as if I have gathered the question correctly, the
Yes, sir.
claim of the royalty was filed correctly in the return of income,
Yes, sir.
and it was treated as exempt.
Yes, sir.
Whether now my question is whether the exempt income was properly reported.
सर क्वेश्चन से तो यही निकल कर आ रहा है कि एग्जाम्प्ट इनकम
this is a circumstantial and a very peculiar question wherein the facts matter a lot. It is advisable that the question can be shared online and the facts can be shared in a form of email or something, and it can be answered in a proper manner, because apparently इतनी information से पूरा decipher करना कि ये क्या solution मिलेगा. अच्छा, my other question is whether
Jaspal, just intervening. He has already stated that it was offered as income from other sources. Whatever is the receipt, he has offered from other sources. It is written in the question. He says the copyright receipts were below rupees 3 lakhs, which is exempt under 80 QQB. This copyright income was shown under the head other sources. It is only the head of income which is different. Yes. So he, instead of saying business provision, he has taken it as other sources.
Yes, then to this, in my humble view, it is outside the ambit of 143.
Closer, Ranjan, closer to the mic.
Hello. Then, in my humble view, it is outside the ambit of 143.1. Which head is to be taken? He is taken as other sources. Department wants to take it as PGBP or as the case may be. Disclosure part is okay.
Ranjan, it is again an AI question. that you do disclose it correctly, but then AI picks up in a different manner.
And also, I would like to see this gentleman has already filed a reply. What is the current status? Whether the 143(1) has been finalized or what? Because if that is finalized, a grievance can be made in the form of either an appeal or a revision petition. And if the claim is correct, it is bound to be allowed, whether it is claimed under the right head or not. The claim will exist. If the claim is as per the provisions of the Income Tax Act, the claim will be allowed. But what is the way out of it is circumstantial and as the facts may reveal.
You see, in fact, I would like to add in this. Suppose he has received 3 lakhs. Now, this copyright is coming from something written by him earlier, only one, and that continues. And during the year, he has not written something different, something new. So he may say that, okay, he is not actively pursuing it as a provision. And this is what is coming is from whatever he had done earlier. And then he definitely will have a claim that it could be income from other sources instead of personal provision.
No, sir. One more thing to be pointed out here is that in case, because the royalty received under 3 lakhs is a specific provision which is to be reported in a specific manner. If he is reporting under other sources income, he is not getting the claim because under other sources, any income is taxable income. So if the claim is not rightly filed.
No. You see, what he is claiming is the deduction under 80QQB. That is under
Yes,
Chapter
exactly.
6A. Chapter 6A. So that has nothing to do with it. It could be Chapter 6A, could be under income under any head of.
No, but whether that Chapter 6 was properly reported or not is not revealed in this question.
No, yeah, that is looks that he is copyright receipts for which is example under the.
Sir,
Probably look, what are you saying is question itself doesn't give the entire facts.
It depends upon the circumstances and the question,
Yes, sir.
the complete
Sir.
question.
So can we proceed to the next question? We are already running out of time. Shilpa, ma'am, please. Is there any?
2 more questions are left. One
Please
is from
read out quickly and we try to.
Lakshmi ji, and one is from Pramodji. First, I'll take the short one from Pramodji, that he is asking that in updated return whether interest is to be paid apart from the additional tax, sir.
8A, yes, of course. Yes.
Everything is there. Then 25% additional tax is also there.
And till date.
It depends on which year you are. Beyond 1 year, 2 years.
The complete interest till date has to be paid.
Sir.
Ranjan
Anuj
sir,
ji,
Ranjan sir, आपकी आवाज फिर नहीं आ रही है.
139(8A होता है, अगर फर्स्ट ईयर होता है तो 25% होता है, and अभी I'm not, and next year से it become 50%. It gives you immunity from penal. No, interest is compensatory in nature.
Okay, sir.
तो उसको देना पड़ेगा.
Thank you, sir. So the last question is from Lakshmi ji. So she is asking that her assessee, being a senior citizen, filed the return of income for the relevant assessment year in the status of resident but not ordinarily resident, RNOR. The assessee's only income comprises share of profit received from a partnership firm, which is exempt under Section 10(2)A of the Income Tax Act. The assessee does not have any income chargeable under the head profit and gains of business and profession. However, while processing the return under Section 143(1), interest has been levied under Section 234(b) and (c) on account of alleged default in payment of advance tax. In view of the provision of Section 2072, which exempts a senior citizen not having income chargeable under the head PGBP from liability to pay advance tax, and considering that share of profit from a partnership firm does not constitute business income in the hands of the partner, whether such levy of interest under Section 234(b) and (c) is legally sustainable. And she wants to know that what is the appropriate remedial course of action to seek deletion of the interest levied.
Ma'am, you rightly said, in case you are a senior citizen, though you are not, but that gentleman, gentle lady is, and you are not having any business income. In this case, he is having business income which is exempt. That is the stand which department is taking.
Hmm.
That you are having business profit of 10 rupees, which is exempt under 10(2)(a). I think in my view, you should file an appeal. Then only, because system will take as if you are receiving business income. Rajesh ji, what do you have to say on this?
The assessee, the section says if you are having a business income that is exempt or taxable, that is not written in the section.
Yes,
It
that
is
is
a
what
debatable point.
that is a debatable, and then when it is a debatable, then in my humble view, it is outside the ambit of 143(1) at least.
One should file an appeal against the law.
Yes, yes.
This is all, sir.
Doesn't enter the PBG. He doesn't enter the head business and provision.
Because you directly show like agriculture income and other income profit under 10(2)(a) as exempt income. They are specific columns.
This state of it goes under other income, so you have nothing under profit and get the business provision. So 207 should be applicable.
Now the issue today is 143(1), not 143(2)/143(3). Yes, Shilpa ji.
Sir, this was all, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. I think you have answered all the questions. We have taken up all.
I
Over to
request Mr. A.K. Srivastava, our North Zone President, to sum up the discussion briefly and also propose word of thanks.
Thank you, Rajesh ji and Shilpa ji, Anuj Bansal, the zone chairman of the zone, and the learned speakers. Ranjan, my dear friend Ranjan, friend for how many years? We probably would have lost count of it. 20, 30, 40 years. We probably.
Anil ji, your age is 18. You're still that young only.
Yeah, thank you. Well, friend, before I come to the speakers, this has been our maiden attempt to, in the year 26, to discuss the issues in direct access. And the committee headed by Rajesh, our good friend Rajesh ji and Shilpa ji. Well, we had, in this year, taken up under the instructions of our national president that this year being our Golden Jubilee year, we must do something different from what we have been doing earlier, and so that we can claim at a later point of time that, look, this was the Golden Jubilee year, and this is all we did, much different from what we have been doing earlier. And in that, the series is started. We had at one point of time attendance of about 220 people across the country. From the list of participants that have joined, I noticed we had people from way down from South, way down from Kerala, Calcutta, then Odisha, and other, not only from North Zone, from other zones also. We had from people from Jaipur, and likewise a lot of other places from Gujarat. So some of them whom I personally know, like this is what I could notice. And before I take it further, I had found that two of our national vice president, Mr. Anil Mathur and Mr. Sanjeev Rao, were also present. And if they are still there, I would request them to kindly, I'd like to have their views on the program and if they want to share anything in this. Mr. Mathur or Mr. Sanjeev Rao ji, are you there?
Sir, they cannot. This is a webinar.
Oh, I think. Okay,
So,
okay.
they cannot.
We can promote them into panelists. They can be promoted to panelists and they can speak. Yeah,
only
Mr. Sanjeev Rao apparently is there.
Only Ravi can do, sir. Ravi, in case Ravi
as an administrator, you can do it.
I have added Sanjeev Rao sir in panelist.
Yes, just see Ravi. Also see if Mr. Anil Mathur is there.
No, he has left, I think so.
Acha. Mr. Rao, are you there? Kindly unmute yourself. I think probably by now he has also left. Well, just to recognize the presence of some people, very senior people. We had Mr. S.R. Vadva, who has been the virtually the we would say the fatherly figure for all of us. He has been a mentor and guide for us. Oh, yeah, Mr. Rao is also come. Yeah, before I would in fact request Mr. Sanjeev Rao to kindly give his comments on today's program.
It is very nice. Deliberation has been undertaken by the chairman and Mr. Srivastav sir.
Thank you, sir.
इसका बारे में और क्या बोलूं बोलिए.
No, sir. What you
Thank
see?
you, sir, for being for attending the webinar.
You see,
Good to see you, sir.
Thank you.
I found one Mr. Johnny who is in Kerala, way down in south.
Johnny
He's also there in the program today. So it's something we find that people have interest, and then people probably have also confidence that okay, whatever program we hold, it will be useful to them.
Exactly. Really, it is. It's very
And we would
nice deliberations has been done by both the speakers. They
Yeah,
elaborately
thank
they
you.
have explained each and every point.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Well, just to name a few people, we had Mr. Vadva, Mr. V.P. Gupta, Mr. Anand Pasari, Pradosh Patnaik has been there from Odisha. Smith Saurabh is the chairman of E-Zone. He had participated. Anand Pandey, ex-former chairman North Zone, was there. Bhaskar Patel is an NEC member, past treasurer, and a very senior member of the federation. He was there. Jamna Shukla is from Varanasi. She is also the convener of the Direct Tax Representation Committee. She was there. Manoj Sharma, our secretary last year. Narendra Sonawala is again from Pune. Joan Natwar Panda from Odisha. Tayyab Khan from Lucknow. And yes, I will not let me not forget to name Rajiv Savarwal. He is our ITAT treasurer and Khadr Mantri. Ranjan Khadr Mantri. He has been there. And Mr. Like I would also notice Vinod Mittal from Punjab. So a lot of people have joined this program across the country. So it gives us a lot of encouragement that people have confidence that whatever program we organize, this will be useful to them. And in today's session, the topic that is chosen is something which we come across day in, day out. Every one of us must have come across some issues in the processing of returns that we have. The issues, spelled out of the, so we are already nearing 7 o'clock, so I'll not take much. But then a couple of issues that they're taken, like what Jaspal talked about, the heads of income. Heads of income and heads, we have to be very, very particular about choosing the head of income. And then there are certain, sometimes we miss out some things. Like the issue of dividend income came up. Well, with business income or income from other sources, dividend income normally is also coupled with the TDS on that. So when we go to the schedule of TDS, there we have to check in an option that under which particular head it is, whether it is business income or from income from other sources. Practically, when we get down to doing this, we realize that the softwares that are developed are really good. There may be some latches, in some places, but generally, if we properly check in the respective boxes, then the issues do not arise. But if we do not, then all these sort of issues will come. My suggestion would be that okay, once we fill up the form, generally, once a form is filled up, we validate the form, and then we say if it is right, we just punch it and then post it. So we should probably try and have a relook at the form that we fill up. Other issues, 43B issues, and then ESIPF, ATM, etc., that have been taken gratuity. The ones which have been the niceties thereof have been explained in depth by the speakers. we all of us have definitely gained
Anji.
from today's talk by the learned speakers. Thank you all, Ranjan and Jaspal, for sparing your valuable time and addressing the members of AFTP, and we hope that if you are not a member, Ranjan, Jaspal, if you are not the member of AIFTP, you should and you shall become the member. And next time I meet you in in IT80 bar room, I'll definitely ask you and take the details of as to whether you have become the member or not. So thank you very much for sparing your time and addressing us. Thank you. Sorry, Jaspal, I can't hear you.
I said I take pride in saying that I'm the member of AIFTP for the last 15 years.
Oh, good, good. But have you not? You've not been very active, it seems.
I have not been active in the last few years, but earlier I was very active before
Okay.
COVID. I used to attend conferences, national conferences all over.
My request that you become.
Anilji, there's a difference. Jaspal cannot compare himself with you. You have reached such a bar, he cannot be near to you. You are pinnacle. वो तो नीचे बैठा है ना, मुझे नजर नहीं आता होगा
अरे नहीं भाई, sometimes हम भी वहीं बैठते थे. You recall our old days?
Yes.
You recall 2002-3 or earlier? हम लोग भी वही we were there at that stage only.
So thank you once again to the entire team of All India Federation of Tax Practitioners who have invited us today.
Thank you, Ranjan sir. Thank you, Jaspal
Thank
sir.
you.
And thank you,
Thank you,
Rajesh,
Mr. Sethi.
Rajesh
Very
Jain
nice
for
exposition.
organizing the program.
Thank you.
बहुत बढ़िया बोले आप. अच्छा presentation था.
So,
Very
so fi-
knowledgeable.
so finally, we
And
are
Anuj, I
Yes,
think
sir, please.
they have forwarded the presentation. You
Yes,
should
sir.
share this.
I have already asked Ravi to circulate the presentation in all the FTP groups. Moreover, I'll share in the executive groups, also send one-to-one broadcast.
Yeah.
Basically.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you. We are finally closing this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you very much.